Hey guys, welcome to Fun Learning. In this video, we are going to discuss about the topic called esophagus. With no more delay, let's get started. Esophagus is a muscular tube meant for passage of food from pharynx to the stomach. Extent of esophagus. Esophagus extends from 6th cervical to 11th thoracic vertebrae. Okay, in order to remember the extent of esophagus, just try to remember there are totally 7 cervical vertebrae and 12 thoracic vertebrae. Just subtract 1 from C7 and 1 from T12. It will be C6 to T11 vertebrae. Okay, now let us discuss about the beginning of esophagus. So it starts in the neck at the lower end of oropharynx. There comes what is oropharynx. Generally, pharynx has 3 parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. In that, this oropharynx serves as a common passage for food as well as air. Esophagus ends at the cardiac orifice of stomach in the abdomen at the level of lower border of T11. Generally, stomach has cardiac part, right? So at esophagus ends at the cardiac part of the stomach at the level of lower border of T11. Now let us discuss about the course of esophagus in detail. So in course, I'm dividing the course of esophagus at the neck and the course of esophagus at the thorax. In neck, posterior to the esophagus will be the vertebral column. Anterior to the esophagus will be trachea. On either side of trachea, we have lobes of thyroid gland. That lobes of thyroid gland forms the radial relation of esophagus. Okay, so posterior is vertebral column, anterior will be trachea, radial will be the lobes of thyroid gland. So in neck, it lies in front of vertebral column, radially to lobes of thyroid gland and anteriorly with trachea. Okay, in thorax, this esophagus passes downwards to superior mediastinum and then to posterior mediastinum, where it pierces the diaphragm at the level of T10 thoracic vertebrae to join stomach. Okay, so this is a diagram of mediastinum. Actually, mediastinum is the space between two lungs. Okay, this mediastinum is divided into superior mediastinum and the inferior mediastinum. This inferior mediastinum is further divided into anterior part, middle part, and the posterior part. So this esophagus passes downwards to the superior mediastinum and then it passes to the posterior mediastinum, then it pierces the diaphragm. So this is diaphragm, this is sternum, and this will be the vertebral column. It pierces the diaphragm to join with the stomach. Okay. Generally, esophagus has 3 parts, namely the cervical part, the thoracic part, and the abdominal part. There are 2 sphincter, upper sphincter and lower sphincter. There are 4 curvature, 2 anterior posterior curvature and 2 lateral curvature, and there are 4 constriction. In order to remember the constriction, just try to remember A, B, C, D. Okay, A stands for aortic, B stands for bronchial, C stands for cervical, and D stands for diaphragmatic. Okay, so aortic at the level of T4, bronchial at the level of T6, cervical at the level of C6, and diaphragmatic at the level of T10. Okay, now let us discuss about the relations of esophagus in detail. So the relation of esophagus at cervical level. So anterior will be trachea, posterior will be the cervical vertebrae, and radial will be the thyroid gland, lobes of thyroid gland, which we have discussed previously. Okay. Now this esophagus is it's not directly attached with prevertebral fascia. It is attached by means of mid-sagittal septum that help the esophagus to move anteriorly and radially. So, esophagus is attached to prevertebral fascia by means of mid-sagittal septum. Because of that, esophagus can move freely. Okay, both anteriorly as well as laterally. Now, let us discuss about the thoracic part of esophagus in detail. So, it begins at T11, ends at T10, where it pierces the diaphragm to reach the abdomen. It enters the thorax via the thoracic inlet, lie first in superior mediastinum and then to posterior mediastinum, which we had discussed previously. Now let us discuss about the relation of esophagus at the superior mediastinum as well as the posterior mediastinum. First will be the anterior relation. In order to remember the anterior relation, you should remember the mnemonic called TAL. Okay, T is trachea, A will be aorta, L is left recurrent laryngeal nerve, and another L stands for left subclavian artery. Just try to remember TAL. Okay, so the posterior relation will be always the vertebrae, right? So it will be T1 to T4 vertebrae. So right there will be trachea, left there will be thoracic duct. Okay, so right to the esophagus there will be trachea, left to it will be the thoracic duct. Now let us discuss about the relation of esophagus at the posterior mediastinum. So in order to remember the anterior relation under the topic called posterior mediastinum, just try to remember BAD, BAD. In that, B stands for base of heart, left atrium, separated by oblique sinus of pericardium. And D stands for dome of diaphragm. Okay, so posterior relation, first there will be vertebral column. So this will be T5 to T10. Next, try to remember CD. C stands for the connecting veins of accessory hemiazygous and hemiazygous with azygous vein. So there will be a connecting vein, okay, that connects the accessory hemiazygous as well as the hemiazygous with azygous vein. Okay, so relation right. So at the right to esophagus, there will be the root of right lung, terminal part of azygous vein, and right sympathetic trunk. Okay, so LAS, LAS. So left will be the mediastinal surface of left lung. Okay, next we'll discuss about the abdominal part of esophagus. So at the lower body of T10 vertebrae at esophageal opening in diaphragm, this esophagus opens into the cardiac part of stomach, and this opening is guarded by cardiac sphincter. Now let us discuss about the relation of abdominal part of esophagus. Very easy, PAL. That P and A stands for posterior and anterior vagal trunk. L stands for left curve of diaphragm. Now let us discuss about the atrial supply, venous drainage, nerve supply, and as well as the lymphatic drainage of esophagus in detail. Previously, I forgot to mention what that D stands for. D stands for descending thoracic aorta. Okay, now let us discuss about the blood supply, nerve supply, and the lymphatic drainage of esophagus in detail. I am dividing this topic into cervical part, thoracic part, and the abdominal part. Now let us discuss about the blood supply, nerve supply, and the lymphatic drainage of cervical part of esophagus. In order to remember this, just remember the mnemonic JAB RIB. In that, J stands for jugulo-omoid. A stands for ascending pharyngeal artery. B stands for brachiocephalic vein. R stands for recurrent laryngeal nerve. I stands for inferior thyroid artery. B stands for branches from middle and inferior cervical vertebrae. So just try to remember JAB RIB, that is JAB RIB. Okay, so jugulo-omohyoid, ascending pharyngeal artery, brachiocephalic vein, recurrent laryngeal nerve, inferior thyroid artery, branches from middle and inferior cervical vertebrae. Cervical ganglia. Now let us discuss about the thoracic part of esophagus in detail. Actually, thoracic part has a little big mnemonic, that is D. Hall Satter PTP. Okay, in that D. Hall, D stands for descending thoracic aorta, H stands for hemiazygous, A stands for azygous, L stands for left bronchial artery, another L stands for left gastric artery and vein, S stands for sympathetic plexus around left gastric artery, A stands for anterior and posterior gastric nerve, T stands for thoracic splanchnic nerve, E stands for esophagus plexus, D stands for direct branch from sympathetic trunk, P stands for pretracheal, T for tracheobronchial, and another P stands for posterior mediasternal lymph node. Okay, so in order to remember it, just try to remember D. Hall Satter PTP. Okay, now let us discuss about the abdominal part. In the abdominal part, just try to remember LIC ATP. L stands for left gastric artery, I stands for inferior pharyngeal artery, C for celiac group of pre-aortic node, A for anterior and posterior gastric nerve, P for thoracic splanchnic nerve, and P for plexus around left gastric artery. So first cervical part you should remember jab rib, thoracic part you should remember D. Hall Satter PTP, abdominal part you should remember LIC ATP. Now let us discuss about the microscopic structure of esophagus in detail. Generally we have 4 walls of esophagus: mucosa, submucosa, muscular, adventitial coats. In that mucosa consists of muscularis mucosa, epithelium, lamina propria. Submucosa consists of nerve plexus and the blood vessels. Muscular, the upper part will be the skeleton. At the middle, it will both skeleton as well as smooth. At the lower part, there will be smooth muscles. So at the upper part, skeletal muscle will be present. At the middle part, both skeletal muscle and smooth muscle will be present. At the lower part, smooth muscles alone will be present. Adventitial coat, so there will be rich plexus of nerves and vessel. Okay, now let us discuss about the clinical application of esophagus in detail. Clinical application include esophageal atresia and tracheoesophageal fistula. In esophageal atresia, esophagus ends in a blind-ended pouch rather than connecting the stomach. Instead of joining with the stomach, esophagus will end as a pouch. Okay, there comes what is tracheoesophageal fistula. So tracheoesophageal fistula is nothing but the abnormal connection between the trachea and the esophagus. With this, I am completing the esophagus. Thanks for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Stay home and stay safe. Thank you.